Hi, I'm Steven Sowell. I'm the executive chef at the Hound's on Prince George Street in downtown Williamsburg. I'm going to tell you today how we make our pierogies. A pierogi is a potato dumpling. It's from Central Europe, or Eastern Europe, if you will. It's traditionally Polish, Slovakian, or Ukrainian. We put our savory item into it, which would be the smoked chicken thighs and the creamed leeks. I add mashed potatoes to our dough. I also add sour cream to our dough. So a traditional unleavened pasta dough is what pierogies are made from. I add mashed potatoes to mine because I like them fluffy. We also add eggs to that, the flour, sour cream, and the mashed potatoes, and salt, of course. For the pasta roller, I spent the big bucks and got the electric one so that we could be much more efficient, as opposed to the hand crank ones. But anybody can buy one of those at the store, whether it's Bed Bath & Beyond or even Target, I believe, has some. And they're great. They're great to have at home. As far as I'm concerned, nobody should be buying like fried pasta if you have the ability to just mix eggs and flour together, or flour and water really together, and then roll it out yourself. So the pasta roller, basically, you start off on the largest setting and then you roll it through twice on each setting. And then you're going to crank it down by twos every time until you get to the one that you think is the best. Keep in mind that this dough needs to rest a little bit, so it will shrink up a little bit. And then you add your cutting tool to it, whether it be a cup or a cutter or a mold of some sort. It could be star-shaped, it could be whatever you want. But pierogies are always folded in half, and then some people even add little shapes to them. So once we now have the pierogies cut and we have the filling made, we use egg as a binder. It could be egg white, could be egg yolk, or it could be whole egg. It's really irrelevant. But it's important that you have a binder on there. You could use the dough itself, but the chances of it breaking apart are pretty good. So we basically just brush the entire exterior of the pierogi dough and then put the filling on the inside and fold it over in a half moon and then press it together. And we let it set for about a minute or two. You could even make these at home and freeze them and use them next week if you wanted. So we buy chicken thighs from Ashley Farms, which is a great farm-raised, free-range chicken that tastes substantially better. It's unreal, the difference. And then we pop them into our combination oven. We add a little smoke to it. Then we take the wood chips out, and then we'll put it on a combination of steam and dry heat, and then we'll cook them for about 40 minutes until they're around 165, and then we'll pull them out and let them rest, and then we'll cover them and let them sit in their own juices for a day until we stuff the pierogies the next day, so they're very juicy. And then we add leeks, which we cream to that, and that's a pretty easy process. So you just basically julienne or dice or whatever knife method you want, and cook your leeks down. I add cream cheese and cream and garlic to ours, and then salt and pepper, of course, and then we add that to the smoked chicken, and we add more mashed potatoes to the filling. So first we're going to cook the dough, and we're going to do that in a pot of really, really rapidly boiling water, and we're going to salt that water too. It's important because when that dough cooks up, it's going to fluff up a little bit too, and then when you take it out, you want it to rest a second before you're going to put it into the oil. So that would be the next step. The next step is you need to have a pan, particularly Teflon if you're doing it at home. We do it in the restaurant in aluminum pans or stainless steel pans. But you want to have that oil at a decent level, probably 1/4 inch, because you're basically pan frying them, if you will. And you're going to brown both sides, take them out, and then now the inside should be hot and the outside should be crispy. Most pierogies traditionally are not crispy on the outside. I wanted something to have some bite to it because the inside's gooey. It's important for us to be able to multitask, if you will, for one dish. So we're going to have 2 pans working. In the other pan, we're taking our mushrooms, which are shiitakes, oysters, medium mushrooms, chanterelle mushrooms, and portobello mushrooms. We're going to season those with salt and pepper, and we add a pretty substantial amount of butter to them. And then on the bottom of the dish, we basically take an aioli, or a mayonnaise, if you will. You can buy the mayonnaise and you can make it yourself just by adding truffle oil and a little bit more garlic and some herbs of your choice. I use chives and parsley and tarragon at the restaurant, and some rice wine vinegar or white wine vinegar. And we spread that on the bottom of the plate. We add the roasted buttered mushrooms to it, and then put the pierogies on top, and then we add the egg vinaigrette. And the egg vinaigrette, this is a fun one, right? So it's traditionally hard-boiled eggs and mayonnaise, and it's emulsified. I choose to keep it broken because I like the look. So we hard-boil the eggs, we add chopped shallots, whatever size you want, really. Texture is everything when it comes to this dish, and that's why I choose to crisp the pierogies up, because otherwise it would be a mushy pile of stuff on a plate. So we had the chopped shallots, the capers, the hard-boiled eggs, the white wine vinegar, and the extra virgin olive oil, and emulsify the whole puppy up together and then dress it on top. I am not a fan of oaked wines, but most people would care to have it with an oak Chardonnay or even a Riesling that's not too sweet. I like the dish as different. I love that it's something that's so popular somewhere else, and around here nobody's ever heard of it. And I think it really does make people happy when they eat it, and it's something that they would have never considered getting before when you see them in the frozen section of the grocery store and they look so bland, you know? And then to come out and have it at our place where we put a lot of thought and time and effort, and we love to see people like smile and eat it, and that's really what we're all about, really, you know?